Hello, this is Airplane Oxygen Not Included. The first upgrade I have today is Plastic Ladder. Thanks to all the plastic that's been created on the other base, this is adding a 20% speed bonus when the dupes are going up them. So the next upgrade is over in this world, and I've noticed I have a little bit of brine sitting on top of this crude oil. I'm worried about that someday possibly making it into the oil refiner. So what I've done, I've got these two reservoirs, one storing crude oil, and this is essentially going to be turning off this pump down here when it starts to get 75% full or more. And then this one is just storing excess, that's or everything else, that's brine. So basic filtering happening, putting brine down there. That way I know that everything that goes into this machine is just the crude oil. So I made this little tower on the top of my base. Also brought heavy wires, or heavy conductive wires actually up here. And I have an airlock at this location. Eventually, when I get a little bit more plastic, transit tube will make its way out and around. So yeah, the reason I should point out I brought this up a little bit further, maybe higher than it needed to, but I've got brine. I didn't want to use petroleum because I'm using petroleum for plastic, but I don't want a liquid that's up there to freeze. And I just was a little bit worried about this minus 60 or so temperature, so I figured if I bring it up a little bit, they'll be a little bit safer than just down here. So now we have a glass forge complete with automated lights, an auto sweeper for supplying sand in this guy. And that will give us access to a lot of glass. Now that's very hot glass that's going to be going out, but thankfully I built this in a cold zone, so that should help when it lands right here. We're at the end of cycle 200, and I just put on this system here. Essentially, I've got a pump, and I'm detecting oxygen, and if there's not oxygen for a certain amount of time, maybe we'll aim for close to 2 minutes or so, it will pump that gas over here, and that's going to store carbon dioxide, natural gas, and chlorine. I see a little bit of polluted air in there, so what I'm going to do, actually I guess that's coming from the liquid down here. I guess that's fine. Maybe what I'll do is, well, I'm going to filter it here to get changes to oxygen. I could put an OR gate with polluted oxygen here, but I'm just going to throw one of these guys next to this output over here. Digging out a natural gas geyser. I'm just going to let that add to the natural gas collection that I'll eventually have stored down in this location and eventually use for cooking. We have the first rocket of this base, so just at the exit here, we've got a carbon dioxide engine, rover's module, and a solo safe air nose cone. And we're going to be pumping in both water, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. Let's just have a quick look inside here. Got a place for the dupes to be able to use the washroom, storing some algae. Got to produce some oxygen. Have a place for food, and I'll have a manual generator converted to here later, and storing water and oxygen in the pipes. About to blast off over here, so I'm going to go over here and remove the suit. For this particular dupe, they have some calories to be able to eat, and some liquid and oxygen, algae, and all of that, so they should be fine. They're not going far. They're just going to go over a couple tiles and drop a rover on this world. So this is the first takeoff in this playthrough. Anytime you're ready, dupe. Just watch the temperature. I think the Bissolite is going to take care of any that heat getting in the base. So that will be 0.4 cycles until we'll be able to deploy a rover. We have a set of solar panels. This is connected to the heavy watt wire going in, providing power. So we have a power from the top of the world, and of course way down at the bottom of this space as well. Still generating a lot of heat from this hot magma with these two steam turbines. First rover is landing. First task I'm going to do is get them to destroy their landing equipment, and we'll build on this base. Over on this base, the dupes have been doing a lot of digging. This could be a natural area for sleet wheat since it's pretty cold, but I'm going to actually have to warm it up a little bit. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I can bring in some pipes. Speaking of which, let's look at my cooling system because I'm using this general area for cooling my base. And my base is looking much more green than it was earlier. It was a lot warmer before. And let's go down to this area. This is getting very warm. This has cooled down significantly thanks to the brine line and taking advantage of that and the ethanol line that's taking the cooling from up here. Let's go over to Rihanna and see what this rover's doing. It's setting up the first ladder and door into this base. Created a few doors, and we're going to create a few rooms. So when the first few dupes get here, they'll have some morale boosting rooms to be able to live in. So now we've got more areas dug out for potential future sleet wheat farm. We have a second rocket. This one is with a safe air module, so a little bit more space inside. The purpose of this one is to run an orbital data collection lab. But I need to have a dupe out in space for a good amount of time, so we're going to have a food storage area, place for him to sleep, produce oxygen, store water, oxygen, algae, plastic, auto sweeper in that. But anyway, I think that's going to be as far as I'm going to get tonight. Oh, just before I leave though, let's check on the rover. So the rover is just about set up a few rooms. We're going to have a place for the dupes to be able to eat, sleep, use the washroom. And I've got the rover down here with a pump so I can actually potentially do some farming with polluted water and grow some stuff up there. And that's a nice thing so that the dupes don't have to do construction in polluted water. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for anyone for subscribing, liking, any comments you might have. And hopefully I will see you in a future episode where we'll continue on and expand this base further.